Easter Sunday, the 4,000th soldier died in Iraq, and to mark those deaths, and it's actually 4,013 right now, we're drawing 4,013 bodies on Missouri State Campus in Springfield, Missouri. We started at about 9 o'clock this morning, and we're going until we're done. We're going at a pretty steady rate. We're at 1,400 right now, and that's pretty high considering the fact that it's only like noon 15. So we have literally dozens of people all over campus crawling around with big cardboard cutouts, and we're putting the bodies up. People are doing it for different reasons. Obviously, a lot of people are opposed to the war, and that's why they're doing it. But we're just doing it to recognize the troops, to show people what's going on. On March 13th, a news story was published, although I'm not sure if it came out March 13th, on this study that showed that under 50% of people in America knew how many American soldiers had died in Iraq, which is kind of terrifying. So that came out right before we were talking about and we were formulating this idea, and it was just enough that we were like, okay, we got to show people what's going on.
Okay, the reason that I came out today to trace a million cardboard chalk outlines is because you hear a number like 4,000, but your mind cannot wrap around that because you don't have 4,000 pennies, you don't have 4,000 jelly beans. Even if you did, you'd look at that and go, 4,000, it fits in a jar. But when you see 4,000, like the size of bodies laid out before you, and you realize that many people could be laying in those spots, or even better, standing here and not having to be traced in the first place, it's just staggering to understand that like 4,000 people are dead off the face of the earth, and it's just like heavy thinking about like, why? Thank you.
I'm not here mainly because just being able to see this makes it a hell of a lot more real than the little number that you see, like 4 digits long. It doesn't really make any impact. You see all these silhouettes out on this sidewalk. Actually see what this war's done to everybody and how many people is actually affected, considering if there's a family of 20 people that are affected by each one of these guys. So I think it really draws it home, really.
So, why'd you come out today?
Well, 4,000 troops is a little too many, don't you think? I'm sure as every day passed after the 4,000th, there's been more, but I think the real point here is that it's got to end. And where does it stop? It stops with all of us standing up and saying it's got to end.
That's much less than WW2 World 1.
Do you want to go on camera with that? Okay.
Well, shit, I don't know. Like this is cool that you guys are doing that. I respect that you guys are standing up for what you believe in. But in my opinion, I think the war in Iraq is for a good cause. I mean, it's the less people have died out of any war. More people die in like basic training in the United States, like at times of peace. Like just doing training. It's like more people die with that than in Iraq war every year. So that's my opinion. I think it's good that we are over there. We should be over there, just making sure everything goes right. We shouldn't leave anytime soon, in my opinion. So.
I think it's great what you guys are doing. Other than I really don't know how I'm going to get to my class because I don't really want to step on the dead bodies, and also I think a lot of people are going to get stepped on, so I don't know how that's really commemorating them. I mean, some of them might get hurt, their footprints on them, and that's it.
It's going.
It's okay. I think war's, a stupid thing because killing people is never good, but it's something we have to do. It's the price we pay for freedom.
My question basically to everyone has been like, what is it about this particular action that brought you out?
That brought me out. Well, there's two things actually. First, my best friend since high school is in the process of being deployed to the Middle East now. My brother's in the Army. And don't get me wrong, sacrifices for a noble cause are, if unavoidable, they're noble. And I'll give you that. It can really be argued that this cause is that noble. I mean, all 16 of our intelligence agencies suggest that we're creating more terrorists by being this war. The war has been waged under corrupt cause. I have much more respect for anybody's life, let alone my best friend's, my brother's, to have them die over something like that. But secondly, the number 4,000 is very, very safe. It doesn't have anything attached to it. I mean, words and numbers are just words and numbers until you grant it belief or support. Like if I say, your mother's been kidnapped by terrorists, I imagine it doesn't bother you because it's just a string of words. You don't believe it. But the number 4,000 is, a lot the same way. It doesn't have anything tangible attached to it. So by doing this, we're giving that number some manner of representation. So whenever people hear like 4,000 troops have died, it's something beyond just a number. It increases awareness, and I hope it'll increase people giving a shit.
I have friends who are fighting, but not necessarily why I'm here. I think it's important for the people that aren't very knowledgeable or don't really watch the news, read the news, whatever. Bombard them with some sort of visual representation of how many people have died. Because I heard JT talking about like how 4,000 is just a number, and so you see how many people, how many lives we actually lost, and the impact is much greater.
Well, in Vietnam we had some real enemies. Here the only enemy was lack of oil, unfortunately, and it's costing us a lot. China is using money to get oil. We're using all the bad ways to get oil. So, I was in the service, not in a combat area, but a lot of roommates from Vietnam don't want to be there unless there's a good patriotic reason. I mean, we want people at the top to know what they're doing, not fooling us. That's why I'm here. Thank you.
What is it about this action that brought you out?
Well, it's because I know how much my own life means to me. And if you just take my own life times 4,013, that's a lot of souls and that's a lot of stories, and every person has a story. So every one of these represents a story. I want to help tell it. That's a lot of souls and that's a lot of stories, and every person has a story. So every one of these represents a story. I want to help tell it.